Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Awesome Cup Alienware Tournament. We're here now in the quarterfinals, semifinals?
Best of 3 quarters. Yeah, game number 1.
So
and it's teams that we've seen.
Teams that we've seen
yes.
and seen well, that we've expected. Both new and old talent, though.
Yeah, yeah.
So today we've cast both of them. One team, we've got Boom on the one side, and on the other side we got 99 cents.
Oh, they were a powerhouse when we saw them back in the 32. That was the best of one, I think our shortest game that we casted, which was 9 minutes.
That was
9 minutes.
That was a brutally fast game. It had a lot to do with a well-played frog and the rest of it. As you guys saw there, quick press rule. But here we go. 99 cents playing on Ribbit 4. We got a Gnaw, a Clunk, and a Frog. So we saw what Nikki could do with a Frog in the past one, but the Clunk and the Gnaw are both new to their lineup as far as we've cast. Boom playing with Frog, Skoldir, and Scoop. So this ought to be an interesting game to see as it happens.
There's a lot of control on Boom.
There's a lot of control on Boom, but not only that, Skoldir typically hard counters Clunk. One throw into a turret and then a couple stun punches later, and Clunk, no matter how much HP he's got, tends to end up dying. The Frogs bounce off of one another, and we'll see how that ends up going.
Like Beyblades.
That would be hilarious. I'd love that. And then finally, you've got Scoop and Gnaw. So where the big differences are going to end up happening with these two teams is going to be between the Scoop and the Gnaw. The Gnaw is going to have to control the jungle. The Scoop is going to have to control the teams. Let's see how these two teams match up against one another. Best of 3, first game, 99 cents, and Boom on the red team. Starting things off, we got Nikki playing the Frog. We've got the Gnaw being played by Anne. And finally, we've got Whoopi playing the Clunk. On the blue team, the Scoop being played by Paolo. Then we got the Frog being played by Blah. And then we've got Skoldir being played by Kyle.
Kaioken!
Nikki being punched to death, and that's going to be first blood right out of the gate. Too much snare for your face. Nikki goes down for the count. Now Clunk looking for an opening. He's dancing around. Whoopi just tossing out a couple missiles while Blah goes into the jungle. That was a really quick first blood.
Yeah, I couldn't even finish my Dragon Ball Z joke.
That was...
How dare you, teams? This is my space, my house. But
does anyone actually end up not finishing a joke before the Dragon Ball Z reference is finished? Dragon Ball Z
I think the announcer just
forever.
comes in at the end and just says, next time we'll finish the joke.
Pretty much.
Either way, I mean, a quick first blood should be some really good confidence here for Boom. Again, both teams we've seen do some really good work here on the streams. I believe we actually had Boom with us yesterday on Qualifier number 1 as well. So them getting into this quarters, that's very exciting for them. So we'll see actually how they will end up with all this, and it drops a little bit in terms of the hit points. But what kind of items do we have out on the board basically from the gate?
So basically right out of the gate, everybody's got basic abilities. The two people that picked up Piggy Bank also ended up picking up some other items, with the exception of Nikki. Nikki picked up Piggy Bank with no other items. The Clunk, Whoopi picking up boots to go along with it. So that's it. Base abilities. Regen now being picked up on Wraithlord, Scoop, and the Scoop of Justice is...
You didn't call him Scoop of Justice when you introed him.
I know, it's the first. I thought that I'd change things up. How do you feel I did?
Must be
did it work?
tired. Yeah.
Out comes Whoopi with the Explode. It's going to actually end up hitting Powell, but then in the return, Whoopi's going to take some damage. Skoldir coming in with the punches, but Whoopi ended up getting the bite and a creep, so he'll be perfectly fine. He's actually quite healthy still. And the teams bounce off each other, but there's a slight exchange in favor of 99 cents right there, and the push is going to continue.
Yeah, there's been a lot of bouncing, but after every fight, Nikki just goes immediately down to the bottom tower, and you can already see it's missing like 3, 4, 5 health bars so far. So early pressure is definitely being put on here by Nikki, trying to capitalize on the fact that they don't really have the hit points. They don't want to really contest a Frog with both of their base abilities, at least this early on. It can be a very terrifying prospect.
It can be, and I think one of the big factors in this this push coming out right now is even though they got first blooded, they do have a Gnaw, and they are constantly moving between the lanes and pushing as often as possible. Like you can tell, Nikki is never in the same place twice. He is always moving between lanes. He's never standing still. And the same goes for Whoopi and Anne as they both move around, always putting down weedlings, always doing something. So the game's really active so far. Blah just waiting for an opportunity to go through those spits. And that's the other thing. Gnaw is really helping to zone out the Frog and the Skoldir, who are both having a hard time engaging through the weedlings and the spit.
And the Weedlings, the placement of the Weedlings is a little bit different than what we saw in the last game, as the Weedlings there were basically concentrated into the top. Now they're a bit more spread out over the top of that jungle, and has actually been using it to a very good degree in terms of just trying to keep on top of the creeps as well as get a little bit of solar in their pocket. But controlling out this mid is a very vital part of playing on Ribbit, because you really want to try to limit the movement of your opponents, and having a Gnaw with Weedling control in the mid is definitely a really great way to at least get a few ticks on top of them as they transition back and forth.
And I think one thing that's really been helping with that has been the Clunk with the backbone of the presence that he's providing. It makes it very difficult when he's defending these Weedlings, which are, like you said, spaced out, so it's impossible to really hit more than one of them at a time. Blah, doing a dash there, but only hitting one Weedling, and it's just going to regen all the way back up to full, and it's going to keep on doing what it was doing before, farming for him. So, and doing extremely well in the Weedling placement. Frail would be proud.
Yeah, Frail Mall. Shout out to them. Another old name here in the Awesome Knot community. But
I'm going to keep tossing those out.
That's totally fine with me, sir. I know most of them. But only with the 1 kill on the board at 4 minutes in, it's just been a lot of default pushing coming in. And it's all seems to be actually in Red's favor, because you see now, again, almost down to half here in the top tier. The bottom one actually not faring so well. And a lot of that has to do with that all 3 of 99 Cent are kind of just pushing and roaming together.
The snare and the throw onto and ends up in a kill for Blah, putting 2-0 on the field. It also ends up killing the Weedlings in the middle, so now Blue have access to that middle area and to this jungle for the first time in a little while, and they hope to put this to good use. The Solar, obviously, currently in the favor of Red, but not by too much, and that gap will shorten with this brief period of time where they are not dealing with a Gnaw.
Well, 99 Cent, at least early on, down to, they do have, again, as I said, a lot of turret control coming in. So they're not really going to be hurting that much, even if we do get, a few ticks in here from Boom. As you saw, top is missing maybe 1 bar. Bottom's not even being touched whatsoever. It's a big split pushing power of the Frog because of the mobility. You can just go up and down and keep pushing and dashing and tornado. It's a very good strategy to keep up the pressure and keep your opponents moving. But more specifically, it's moving to the beat of your drum. Now we got double hammer pants, though, for the Nikki. And, Nikki coming in from the top into the bottom with those hammer pants could be, very powerful for this bottom lane.
The other thing about Hammer Pants that's going to be incredibly useful is that all, 2 of the characters in particular, but all 3 of the characters on Team Boom are susceptible to Hammer Pants. They're all big or stay on the ground for long enough that Hammer Pants can definitely be a very
there either.
Exactly, and they can all be very cost-effective hits with that dash. Explode coming out is going to miss. Whoopie whiffing his explosion, unfortunately, and out comes some punches. No throw.
I don't think one's landed yet.
He's landed a couple at the he's landed a couple, but nothing so significant as to net a kill yet. Yeah. This is the first time I've seen 99 Cents on their back foot in this tournament. Naturally, we only saw them in a best of 1, so it's not saying too much.
True.
But at the same time, Boom proving to be a very challenging first team. They're proving to be a challenging first game here.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice hammer coming out. Actually did catch out the Gnaw right there at the turret, but he is going to get off a few Weedlings here into the mid, looking to set up that nest again, that control, so that they can actually control out not only the hit points, but also, again, the hit point, the jungle creeps, as well as the hit points of the opponents, because every time that they transition, they're going to take a few shots, and that could actually lead into just enough damage for this Whoopie to get off that.
Speaking of just enough damage, Nikki picking off a Solar Boss for his team. So 99 Cents going for that Solar Boss, and he's going to give it to Ann, so that way Ann can get his HP right back up to full.
I was going to say, if you're going to lie to me and he actually dies here, that's going to be like the stream moment of the year.
Oh, it would have been the stream moment of the year, but it's 99 Cents. I had every bit of faith in them that they wouldn't die. Whoopie going for the explosion. It's going to end up hitting 2 people, and now you got the Scoldy running away as fast as he can, but it's not enough. Nikki ends up getting killed. Blah now running for his life. So is Powlol, and Powlol going to need to pick up that HP there in order to not get killed. So very good pickoff, putting 99 Cents on the board for their first kill of the game. Currently at the 7-minute and 30-second mark almost. 1-2. Plenty of items bought on both teams now that have come out. We got Spike Slime coming out for the Gnaw. We've got dash damage, so plus 10 dash damage coming out for the Frog. And now we got the Twisted Lance of the cooldown coming out on the Scoop on Team Boom.
So for some reason, I thought that Hammer would actually stop a jump pad. I don't know why I thought that, but it caught me off guard.
No, Hammer does not stop the jump pad.
You remember when Shotgun used to?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a powerful thing.
Yeah, well, Shotgun used to do a mini stun rather than a full-on, rather than a knockback.
Yeah, robbed you of momentum. It was really annoying.
It still works on Yuri. Like, Yuri still hates Shotgun to a fiery burning passion.
Floats.
Like, it's not going to completely just stop a bounce pad, which is definitely a bit weird. But Snare doing its thing as best as it can. Whoopi going to get caught up by a quick Snare there, but he's not going to end up suffering any real consequence after that. Currently, that hammer does not do a lot of damage. Like I said, there's cooldown on it in Lance, but that's about it, and that's not damage unless if you get hit from max distance. No,
cooldowns in Lance is not damage, quite correct. Kaio, however, taking a lot of damage to the face, is actually going to drop, which is surprising, because I think it was actually a bigger just fact of the body block rather than anything. He also did, of course, eat that explosion in his face, which is exactly what Whoopi wanted. But with the death of the Kaio, it's going to be the death of the tower as well, and that puts us a little bit more cash in the pocket of the red, but Powell is not going to drop, and we will go back to just pushing out Bob.
As you notice there, Whoopi didn't decide to go in or even try to go after that turret. He decided, you know what, I'm already going to take enough damage as it is with this explode. I'm not going to go ahead and make it any worse. So well played by him.
Do it here, though.
Yeah, Whoopi maybe a bit late on the bite there. If he had bit a little bit earlier for the snare and maybe caught the frog on the end of it, that might have hit or forced the frog to dash away.
I think that was more just about the turret damage rather than trying to kill.
Look at that wheeling placement.
I know.
That
Anytime
really
Blah
cool.
jumps, it comes down and attacks him.
And it's a lot of it, too. That's all 4 wheelings just sitting there. And he had to be very careful at jumping around that. It is a serious
They want to push
inhibitor.
this out, and the only way to limit that is to limit that access right there. That way there's no surprise jumps, there's no surprise kills, and Nikki actually finishes it off with the combo, and that is both turrets now down for Boom. So despite the fact that they got those 2 kills early, they are still very much losing out on the map pressure, and a lot of it is Anne, and the other half of it, I would say, is Nikki.
Nikki doing a lot, good amount of work, but now Whoopi also going to be a threat to contend with right now. He's got the Universal Charger, which means his explode takes a lot less time to go off, and he's also got the 750 damage explodes. So he's going to be going for that's going to be very frightening, and he's coming in for the explode right now. It's going to end up hitting the frog.
Wow.
Blah barely surviving.
Does Blah
and he goes,
we have no pills. Oh, we have no pills on Blue.
Yeah, and Blah has, I think Frog has practically 1,000 HP, not very much more than that.
So it's almost a one-shot.
It's almost a one-shot. It practically is a one-shot under any other circumstance. A good dash to avoid the damage there by Blah. Nikki trying to go in for another dash damage, but it's not going to end up hitting anything other than the turret, and so the teams kind of bounce off of one another. Currently in favor of Team 99 Cents, there's 2 towers down on the side of Team Boom, and Nikki getting caught in a snare quake. There's some damage coming out on top of that, but Nikki going to be safe as the Wheelings, now upgraded with the HP and the size, are going to just sit there and make themselves a lot of a nuisance. Because they explode, but the explode plus the solar boss, lots of damage happening to Whoopi. Whoopi's going to have to stay out of this fight and taking a little bit of damage from the hammer, but he's going to be perfectly fine as he picks up neutral creep for himself to heal up with.
Like, if that throw had not gone off, would have been a Whoopi kill right there.
Oh, absolutely. But that throw was not only super key, but also that could have been a death had the solar boss been a little bit angrier. That does happen on occasion. And Whoopi, plus 99 cents, get Nikki actually picking up a kill on Kaio. Again, so he's going down, and that just leaves the lanes to be pushed.
Oh, what? Blah got actually a return kill there.
That was very, very good, too. And an important kill as the Wheelings now disappear from the map. Now you got Paolo. He's going in for a little bit of harassment. He's trying not to get caught out because no matter how much HP he's got, if he gets caught out by Nikki, that is a lot of damage. His dash now fully leveled up. He's got plus 30 damage plus the hammer pants, which is another 240 on top of the 250 he already started with. So that's almost 800 damage on a dash if he lands it properly, which is a lot. And in comes the explode. It's not going to hit anybody as there is a very good dash coming out of Blah.
Yeah, Blah saw it coming. It's like, they saw Whoopi go up there. Now he's kind of out of the line of sight. That's usually a good suggestion that you should probably get out of dodge. At least those that have a lot of experience up against these clunks. And I would say that right now, maybe 99 cent Nikki got kind of screwed up there in the top, but there goes Blah as well as the return.
Well, that was a really good bite by Whoopi, and he's got that snare is a really good way to stop frogs. Any movement inhibiting option is a good way to stop a frog. So in that case, bite plus snare quick equals death. Right now, the scoop taking a lot of damage, but
did that actually hit?
Yeah, the explode ended up hitting. And Whoopi doing a good job there, but Whoopi now pretty hurt. He's going to have to just walk around and bite things for a little bit as he gets his HP back up. Scoop now going in for some damage on Anne. Anne going to walk away from that fairly all right, but at 2/3 HP, that's quickly going to be rectified with the Wheedlings.
Yeah, the Wheedling pressure in the mid as well, just controlling all these creeps is really going to do good. Whoopi doesn't have that cooldown anymore. This actually could be very bad for him as he just jumps into the embrace of the solar boss. But
which is
KO still looking for his life here. Paolo, that's not Paolo. Paolo they're all burning or poisoned, and it is the poison. It's the An, and the An is actually able to take the kill.
And that's
the double. You're kidding me? I thought
double Olay.
No, I saw the hit points there to Scolder. He totally was going to live through that.
At the same time, though, look at what An's got. Triple slime. That's a lot of damage, and he was biting away too. So that ended up being just enough damage to get the double kill, which makes it a 3-to-1, a 2-to-1 trade, very much in the favor of 99 Cents, as they now solidify their position, get a little bit more solar farm out of it. They're not going to get a turret out of it, but they are going to get that extra bit of solar to put them a little bit more over the edge. More poison damage for the first time being seen on a Gnaw in this tournament. So now double poison, and we'll see what happens. Second time? What was the other time?
We had one Gnaw that just went triple poison before anything.
Okay.
I don't remember which one, though. We've had a lot of Gnaws today. It's a popular character.
Yeah, which is funny considering how for a very long time Gnaw was considered to be not very good on the competitive scene. So very interesting.
Buffs.
Stealth buffs,
yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the fact that most of the damage upgrades now on skills don't actually affect minions.
Throw coming out, it ends up hitting Whoopi. Whoopi now in a lot of danger. He's going to end up surviving, and a key bite coming out to keep him alive. On the back end, Nikki going to kill off Blah. Now Nikki doing his best to just do some damage to the turret, get some NATO damage off. He's going to get snared. He's not going to end up taking any other damage. He's going to pick up that health pack, and he'll be fine. Kaio and Paolo now having to walk off.
So yeah, that's what the stealth buffs are, at least in my eyes. So the fact that like Cocoa Balls, snipers, stuff like that can't actually insta-give the weeds anymore. So again, you get bigger weeds or you get more healthy weeds, and they're kind of harder to deal with.
That's true, and it's not that they're impossible to deal with.
No,
as we saw earlier on, yeah, it just took a little bit of team coordination to deal with them, or some left click to deal with them, and it's not like they do a ton of damage right now.
Man, look at that frog solar. That is some really good looking solar numbers.
He's sitting at 1900 along with Ann at 1600 and Clunk at 1600 as well. On the blue team, we've got 1300, 1500, and 1200 at this 15-minute mark in the game. Currently a 1500 solar, about 1,000 solar advantage.
Yeah, about 1,100 or so by my quick count. Looking at
the Whoopie coming in with a 1,000 damage explode. Paolo going to eat that for breakfast and have to ask for more maybe a bit later. Up we go, and Blah going to have to walk off from wherever he was doing. Yeah,
Ann's just going to clean up some of these creeps top again. And look at these Weedlings. Once again, they are trying to control the mobility here of Boom. And putting all these Weedlings in and around this one access area just means that you can't use it. So if you're going to be pushing out bottom, you either have to come in from behind, which you're going to get collapsed in a 1v3, or you got to go all the way back around, which means you're not being nearly as mobile as you want.
And if you're clearing out those Weedlings, and it does take time, like eventually you do, but they're so easy to put back down. And if you don't deal with them immediately afterwards, all that time you spend. Oh, what?
Ooh, Nikki with the burst. I
saw that Nikki with the burst. Yeah. That was really well played by Nikki. In comes Whoopi. He's not going to end up. He does actually end up hitting Kaio for some damage. Now we got Blah up there.
Every time, aren't you?
Absolutely. Kaio's name is fun to say. So now we've got the push happening down here. There's no scoop to really do that long range poke. We don't have gnomes on the Scoldier to do the gnome tossing or the gnome artillery, which I find is a really good way to go about doing things with Scoldier, but that's just my personal thoughts. And wow, Whoopi killing Blah off.
Yeah.
He got cornered, collapsed upon, and just 1,000 damage explodes on a frog with
couldn't kill Ann.
Exactly 0 pills.
Yeah, couldn't kill Ann. So once you don't actually burst down somebody and you're kind of out of those cooldowns and the rest of the team comes up, yeah, it could be actually very dangerous, just like Io down here has actually just figured out, trying to 1v1 the Whoopi. Whoopi is just eating all those turret shots and getting off so many auto attacks on top of that turret. He doesn't care. He's just going to eat and snare and have a wonderful time, and he's just going to come back swinging again at that bottom lane.
So as we stand right now, we've got a couple of important upgrades coming up. We've got the shield and the tweeters happening. So Nikki now going for the initiation. He's also going to end up probably dying here as the punch comes out. Whoopi also taking a lot of damage. He's going to end up actually going down. The hammer going to catch Nikki. Nikki's going to run, but he's not going to run fast enough. He's going to end up going down and now running for his life. He doesn't get thrown though, so that's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange in favor of Team Boom. Boom now looking to really capitalize on this while they've got the time and the chance to actually make something happen.
And you can see Blah, he's actually been cleaning up some of those Weedlings. That's going to lead us into putting down a few more of them here, but if Ann is not careful, that hammer will hit, but there's no dash here from Blah to actually capitalize on, so he's going to be very safe behind that tower. Nothing here can actually go through, maybe the stun punch, but at the very best, it has to be expertly put down. But either way, tower damage is now mounting. Scoop and crew definitely making the most of those death timers.
Well, it's not going to be quite enough to get the turret, unfortunately. Their team lineup, with the exception of Frog with a fully upgraded left click, is not really able to push super well. So they are currently they're getting kills like that is great and all, but they're going to need to get a few more before they do anything.
Is that enough poison? I don't think
that won't be enough to kill him with the earthquake damage. No, Kaio, unfortunately, not going to pick up a kill there. However, the entirety of Team Boom going to have to head home, and this is going to give 99 Cents the time that they need to really mobilize for this push on a turret. If they can get this turret down, that's going to be a really big push into the core if they get a good wipe or if they get enough people dead.
Solar Boss, the infinite amount of chomps that he can eat is actually very impressive. That is a big auto attack, Whoopi.
Yes.
Did you see that? That was one heck of a cube.
Yeah, he's got the big fat Pete upgrade, so on his 4th attack, out comes the big one. And that big one does end up doing a decent amount of damage.
640?
No, I believe 240.
Not near 640. Yeah,
no, not quite.
I don't actually know what the new bigger numbers are because I do remember them being terrible back in the day, but now we all multiplied everything by 10. So
yeah. Well, the missile damage has increased, and it is a very powerful upgrade to have. I'm surprised that he's not got the missile salvo first, so I'm guessing he's just going for the economy. Oh, and out comes the snare.
Ooh.
The explode going to miss, though, because of a very well-timed dash on Blah's part. Now, Whoopi getting off a bite. Kaio going to take a lot of damage from all that, but he's going to get out fine as well. Both teams bouncing off each other. 9 kills for Team 99 Cents and 7 kills for Team Boom. 19 minutes into this game.
The bigger story, however, is the state of the towers, and that big shot is just actually really just very interesting to see. Whoopi's actually going to get tossed into the Solar Boss. He's going to have to try to just eat his way out of this one. I think he will because there's no big follow-up coming out here from Blue. I guess they didn't have the confidence, and Whoopi will live to see another day. I'm not entirely too sure if Blah will because we still have Nikki and An ready to go, but I guess their cooldowns are actually a little bit out of date. Whoopi comes back in with that auto self-destruct, doesn't quite get anything for it, and is now going to be a big target as he's going to be jumping away to safety. And by the end of it all, it could be the kill on Nikki, but no, it will be not a kill on either side.
Can I just say that the wheeling there on that glass platform at the bottom is the MVP because Blah would have gotten a kill, would have gotten a kill there on Whoopi easily if it hadn't have been for that thing blocking his NATO. So
speaking of NATOs, here comes Nikki.
Nikki coming in, getting some tweeters on a couple of people, but it's not going to end up killing anyone, just sending them back to heal. And this will give 99 Cents, again, the opportunity to mobilize and put in some damage on the turrets, and maybe even get a kill if they're good about it.
It was a very intense team fight, but ultimately nobody going down just means that we're not really going to shift out, at least from the bases here, Boom. Everything is still pushing in up against Blue, and they're still, very slowly losing out some of this tower damage. Look at that big shot going in. It's just landing some, big chunks on top of Blah, on top of Kaio. And now here comes Paul, but that's not going to be a hammer that actually hits.
No, it's not going to end up doing very much. Nikki taking a ton of damage there by contrast. Whoopi now looking for an opportunity to maybe do something. But, yeah, no, the red team realizing, you know what, we took a little bit too much damage there. That was not ideal.
The split spit.
Let's just go back to caging them in for now. Yeah, the split spit, a really neat upgrade. Let's see what else he's got going for him. He's got slow on that spit as well as, actually, that's it, just the slow and the split spit on his spit right now on top of the damage. So he's got all 3 upgrades for that now.
Now, Whoopi has actually been pushing out this bottom, and look at that health bar. Very impressive stuff. Gets 300 hit points back as well by taking a good chunk there out of Paolo. And Paolo will get off that hammer, but it's not going to be enough to stop this. Whoopi can just infinitely keep pushing. He can just float above those creeps, use the auto attacks, because they hit like a truck, and just keep it up. But I'm not entirely too sure. Oh, he's not burning from anything, so he's actually will get out with the skin of his teeth.
Literally, like by a sliver of health. And he almost did end up going down, but like you said, no earthquake right there, right then, right yet.
Baby curry mammoth?
No,
we don't.
No,
I was looking at Clunk.
Nope, no baby
The snare quake didn't really hold very well, so I was curious to see if we actually had the baby curry, because we've seen that once. I will take it back. We've seen it once in one match.
And it ended up helping a lot. It was against the Derpal and a lot of other snares. And that.
Yeah, it was like team control, team tank.
Yeah, it was team tank, team control, and it got completely overrun by a team that went, you know what, I'm going to spend 220 solar and completely negate that.
Yeah.
So, well, not completely negate it, but really negate a lot of it.
Boom did lose out another turret, and that bottom lane is now open for the core, which means that if they do go in an unfavorable trade, that actually could be possibly a game. I mean, if you lose out even 2 for 1, like the Na, maybe not so much of a pusher, but Whoopi and Nikki, oh, they could really start turning into that core.
Absolutely.
Oh, as I say it.
And he used the dash to get in on the Weedlings and then the NATO, and then he had nothing to deal with the explode that was coming out. So Whoopi picking off a very important kill. It won't be
Nikki.
But Nikki also going down. Really well-placed snare.
Team control.
Snare quake, exactly. Whoopi looking for an explode. It is
that hit.
somehow going to hit. And so as a result, the other 2 teammates on boss going to have to take it easy for a moment.
Whoopi's just going to steal out this very temporarily.
Yep, there we go. So another 20 solar for everybody on Team 99 cents. 23 minutes into this game right now. 1 last turret left open and alive for Team Boom. Boom going to take a lot of damage on Paolal. The turret going to take only 500 there, but
take 500.
Sorry, 250. And yeah, well, it's only going to take 500 if it wasn't for the turret damage reduction because. Yeah, the thermonuclear cleaner only works on awesome knots.
Yeah, oh, that could be the binding kill, and it is. Paolo with a great capitalization. Good toss on top of Whoopi. That's going to be it for him as well. That leaves Nikki now in a 1v3 situation. And, you know, as powerful as the Frog is, in fact, it's the breadwinner of the match right now if you look at that solar. Can't do a 1-on-3.
No, Frog can pick off a couple of opportunistic moments, but by himself, unless if the other team is made out of paper, he's going to have a very difficult time getting a kill without dying in return. He's got no real incentive to live. He's got like 1 rank in pills. If he gets caught out, he'll likely die.
Paulo has the right idea here, though. I mean, they got the top turret. They're now pushing very hard on top of the second. The drop pods are now down, though, and the rest of 99 Cent will be joining the fray, but that is both tower kills. Nice trick shot. As that's going to put a lot of solar in the pocket, not only from the double kills, but all the creeps and now the double turrets. And it's still actually the Frog for the breadwinner. Nikki is actually still far out in head, but that actually really did do a good number on the solar difference. And look at all that shopping happening on the right-hand side.
Absolutely, as the tweeters are now picked up by Blah, and Paolal picking up some damage upgrades on his hammer. His bindings also now doing extra damage as well. So lots of damage coming out. The Scoop is now going to be able to wade in and brawl a little bit or sit in the back and harass. And I think that's the main deal, is that he's going for that range damage. So that way if they do catch someone with it, they can hopefully kill them a little bit easier with that extra damage.
Some good hammer tosses being done out here by Paolo, just starting to chunk away. It's a little bit more the squishier too, and Nikki keeps running face into it, but nice dodge right there. But again, we do got some of the Weedlings out there from Ann, so we are resuming a bit more of the control of the mid as well as his farm. His farm's actually been pretty good, 2593. It's still falling slightly behind that Frog, but it's number 2, very solid number 2 in terms of earnings.
Absolutely, and he's been doing a really good job of keeping that jungle nice and clear and open for his team, and really restricted and claustrophobic really for Team Boom. So that's what you want to be doing with Na, is restricting movement, is punishing aggression that the other team demonstrates, and he's Ann's been doing a great job of it so far. It also capitalized on a lot of different opportunities, and Whoopi is on the ball for that too.
Was that actually, that snare quick actually hit Whoopi? I'm not entirely too sure it did, but that explosion definitely didn't hit anybody. And now Ann is on the wrong side of the line of scrimmage. Doesn't matter though. He chews his way right through Kaio, gets off the kill. Poison kills are not actually going to go the way of 99 Cent, but Blah is actually going to pick up the kill on top of Whoopi.
Yeah, Whoopi getting caught in a tower in a bad place. And again, Clunk, if he gets caught in a bad spot, he can be killed quite easily, actually, despite all of his HP. And he does get caught out easily because, yeah, like you said, he's a big guy. Easy to hit him with hammer into dash into terribleness.
Those tweeters on Nikki?
Those tweeters on Nikki. They're good stuff. The tweeters on Blah also doing a decent amount of work. But Nikki a little bit farther ahead in his build. He's also got Ninja Worms to go along with it. Whereas Blah, he's got the tweeters just now. He has no ranks, and he's got 1 rank in pills. And he's now going to left click instead. So his dash damage not maxed out compared to Nikki's, which is.
Yeah, but that's very characteristic of Nikki. Very characteristic of an older build of just basically max damage and everything. I mean, how often do you see tweeters these days?
Actually, it's according to a lot of Frog players that I've talked to, Nikki included. Granted, so take that with whatever grains of salt you like.
Yeah, they're going to say a lot or never.
Yeah, well, it's either they feel confident landing them or they don't. And the top-end Frog players typically say, you know what, I need to learn how to land these. Let's get comfortable with it, and they have.
So you're going to see a lot more probably in solo queue, especially after this tournament.
Yeah.
Because Wolf said so.
Yeah.
Make that like just Wolf things, tweeters.
Yeah. Not looking forward to more Frog, but
I am.
Well, you can say that all you like for now. Just
I'm a Coco. I don't care about a Frog.
So as we move into here, the 28-minute mark as it comes up, 11 kills on either team. Very close game. Neither team really far ahead of the other. Only a few hundred solar per end of things. Although Nikki is pulling ahead pretty far. He now picked up 2 ranks in pills and is starting to go into his left click since everything is practically maxed out, including his NATO and his dash.
He's sitting at 5 and 4 for a score. So now picking up a few pills means that he should be actually able to, hopefully trade out a little bit more effectively, because what we have been noticing, we are trading kills for kills essentially in a lot of these late game team fights. Whoopie with that explosion didn't really hit anybody, but once you do kind of max out here with the pills, we are going to be hitting those maxes soon, and could have probably used some pills right there. Only has 2 of the 3, but Kaio is going to get out. Blad's going to get out. Actually, I'm not sure. Kaio, he's all right.
Kaio is just barely.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Nikki says something otherwise. He wants that kill, but he's not going to end up finding it. He's going to dash out of there, forcing Powell to go back and heal as well. So despite the fact that Ann died, it was at a price that cost Team Boom a little bit more than they would have liked, and so as a result they weren't able to really capitalize on it too much. Granted, and still coming down, going to be gone for another 7 seconds roughly, but the rest of the team pretty happy with just getting whatever farm they can and starting to move forward again. So here we are, we're moving into things. Currently we're down to the last tower for Team Boom. 2 towers still up, practically pristine on Team 99 Cents into this best of 3 series first game in it. And right now, oh wow, here it comes. Whoopi getting really brought down. He's going to take a lot of damage. Nikki also going down. Blah and Powell getting the kills. So now this is the opportunity they were looking for. 2-for-0 exchange for Team Boom. Team Boom now going to start pushing in.
Yeah, but it's still Ann on the defense. He can set up those weedlings. He can throw out that poison. The poison will split as well. So it's going to be a decent amount of counter to those creeps. Like those creeps, they're already dead. But that's actually going to be a punch and a throw on top of Ann. But it's enough because Kaio, got really close to that turret. There was poison. There was Ann just doing the bite damage. He actually was able to defend it. I might pay for it here, but as I say that, he's actually going to walk out, throw a taunt in for good measure, and all of a sudden, all that push coming from Boom, dead in its tracks.
Absolutely. That was really well played by Ann. Very, very risky. But it ended up working out. The big plays, managing to pick off the Scoldier, and Blah almost getting picked off by the sneakiest Creeper Clunk I've seen in a little while. Powell now trying to run away as fast as he can, but Nikki says, no, I want you to stay here. Bite coming out. It's going to hit Blah and trying to chase down whoever he can as well. Blah now very slow.
If this is a kill.
And dead. So now this is going to be a 2v3. This could be game right here, right now. Whoopi going in for the explode. It's not going to hit anybody. Kaio taking a lot of damage, but Nikki is still here. That dash is going to end up happening, and that's going to be the end of him. So 2-for-0. It's down to Powell. Powell by himself is not going to be able to do enough. It is definitely going to end up being game. Powell unable to defend against all of this by himself. And there you have it, folks. 3, 2, 1. There goes the core. 99 Cents taking it, and the peak of their at the very end of this game, 30 minutes into it, 14 kills on each team. That was really, really close right up until the end.
Right to the end. I mean, we had this big momentum coming out there from Boom, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, this could be a tower. And successfully defends. They get no pressure. They then lose out 2 more team members, and the immediate push is game ending. I mean, once you're into about the 20-30 minute mark, those death timers really start adding up, and we just saw the capitalization right there.
Yeah, and it was painful because it cost them the game having that 1 death, and then the rest of the team ended up chasing between Froggy and Ann. They're both fast enough that they could chase down the slower Paolo and. The slow coming out of the spit from Ann ended up catching the Frog off guard as well. So those 2 kills there, costing the rest of the game easy. But that was any person's game right up until that point.
I'm just looking at the Clunk. The Clunk won because he was part of 99 Cent. He had a score of 1 and 7. All those explodes, he very rarely ever actually took home the kill.
That's true.
1 and 7.
That's true, but he did land them, and that's the important bit. A lot of that was Ann, I think, and Nikki doing a lot of the work.
And Scoop, 1 and 7 as well. Now, I don't really expect big kills to come out of the Scoop because he's more of a, he feels more of a controlling character. I mean,
yeah,
the sniper hammer, sure, like the bindings, but past that, he just doesn't really feel like that big bursty assassin. So him on a 1-7 is that's okay, but The Whoopie, I actually expected a bit more than 1-7, but hey, got the money, got the kills.
He did the damage, and that's all that really matters.
Yeah.
It's not about kills
Yeah.
or deaths. It's about the objectives,
That is
and
true.
that's exactly what 99
Good
Cents
point.
ended up going for. So they're going to take this first game in this best of 3 in the semifinals.
Hey, we are in semis, aren't we?
Yeah, we
It's
are.
exciting.
It
Like,
is exciting.
Winner of this goes to finals and is guaranteed a spot to compete for the Alienware Alphas.
Yeah, and then they can, and then at that point they're competing for seeding. So
Yeah, no, that's true. The finals will be seeds, but both will move on. And when we do have all 8 opponents, we will of course do the seeding algorithm, and we'll find out who's actually going to be playing. I cannot wait for the grand finals. Like if we're getting teams of this caliber on the qualifiers, on every single qualifier, oh, it's going to be a good time. Cannot
absolutely.
wait.
What I'm really glad to see is that Boom, which is a new team as far as we know, has been doing an excellent job in keeping things together against a team that has a lot of experience.
Yeah,
That's
that was
been playing
close
for a
until
long
the
time.
end.
It was a very
It
close
was close
game.
until they lost.
It was close. No, it was close the whole time. When they lost, and it was in a very definitive, okay, well, it's late game, so you've got almost a minute long to stay there watching us win, and that's it.
So this is not semis, this is quarters.
Let's go. So this is quarters. Okay, my bad. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I blame you.
you are allowed to blame me. I will
Okay.
take the blame.
Good job.
In any case, I think that this is it for game 1.
It is.
We're moving on to game 2.
We will. Yeah. So game 2, we're going to get that rolling here for guys, and we'll be back within a few minutes here. Jester and Wolf and all the correct information. We'll be right back.